You are Grosvenor, the maid to Lady Agatha Smythe, one of the wealthiest landowners in the district. She's holding a gala high tea at 11 o'clock, but oh dear, you only have 15 minutes to get ready, and where is that sugar? You mustn't be late, the madam's reputation is at stake.
Welcome, Maple People, and hello, Sarah. So, Sarah, what game are we going to be discussing on today's vlog?
Today we are going to be discussing Elevenses for One, which is a single-player game. It is a published game now, but initially it was a print and play expansion for this game, Elevenses, which is a 2 to 4 player game. Yep, 2 to 4 player game about serving high tea. I really liked this one. I thought it was really cute and thematic, and so when we found out that they had actually published the single player variant, Elevenses for One, I was excited about giving that a try. Even though I'm not a huge solo player, I really like the cute little universe that they set up in this sort of series now, I guess. And yeah, so it's a pretty simple game. Would you like me to tell you about it?
Please.
Okay, so in Elevenses for One, we are attempting to get ready for high tea, which will be served at 11 o'clock. And so we are starting at 10:45. We're a little bit late to the party here, but we're starting at
15 minutes left.
10:45. We got 15 minutes to get high tea completely ready for our mistress. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to get these cards in ascending order from 1 to 11 before we run out of time. And if we can do that, then we win. If we run out of time first, then we lose.
We disgrace our mistress.
Exactly. So the way that it's played is that on your turn, you're going to do one of a couple of different options. You're either going to take this card and play it to this deck here if it is the next card. So here where it's the 3, I couldn't play it to this because I need it to be the 2, which is all the way down here. So if I could play it as the next card in this deck, then I would go ahead and put it here. And then I would perform whatever ability it has here at the bottom. If, however, I cannot play it here because it's not the next number in order, like this 3 over here, then I have a couple of options. I can either turn it face down and move on to the next card.
You have to also do the ability.
Yeah, but if I do that, I have to carry out this ability here, and I have to lose time. So I would lose a minute, and this would go down. But by doing that, I could get this kind of out of the way for a minute, and we could move on to the next one. The other thing that I could do, instead of flipping it over, is I could move it to a discard pile up here, like this. And if I move it to a discard pile, I don't have to do the ability, and I don't have to lose any time for that. However, there can only be 3 cards maximum in the discard area here. So I have to be kind of careful with how I'm putting cards over here, because not only is this a limited space, but also I'm not going to be able to get cards back out of this area until I come across the 10 or the 11. So what you do on your turn is you just look at the card at the front of the line and you decide if you can move it over here, you do, and then you do the ability and you lose a minute. If you can't, you have to decide if you're going to move it to the discard pile or if you're going to flip it down. And if you flip it down, you have to do the ability and lose a minute. If you move to the discard pile, you don't. If you can make it through your deck of cards and get this numbered.
They call it pantry.
Excuse me. If you can get through your pantry,
yes.
If you can get all the way through your pantry and get this deck numbered 1 through 11 before you run out of time, then you win. If you run out of time first, then you lose. And that is Elevenses for One.
Really simple.
It is very simple. It's a
kind
nice
of
little puzzly game.
Kind of a big box, though.
It is a big box. So this is actually one of the things I wasn't super excited about was I didn't know much about Elevenses for One before we bought it, except that it was a 1-player version of Elevenses. And there are, I think we counted it up, there are 11, 12, 13, there are 13 cards in this game. And that is the entire game. And this is the box that it came in. And to sort of justify the size of this box for 13 cards, they included a second game, Bowling Solitaire, which I don't know anything about because this is not why I bought this game. This is why I bought this game. So I haven't looked into Bowling Solitaire at all. Maybe it's phenomenal, maybe it's not, but I do feel like 2 games for the price of 1 is great if you're excited about both games, but if they're including 1 to justify the price of having 13 cards in a box this size, I feel like that's a little bit sneaky and maybe not the best way to do things. However, I am excited to own Elevenses for 1, and I guess maybe Bowling for Solitaire might be great too, so I guess we'll see. I think that it's cute. It's kind of very similar artwork to the original, and I think that it's a nice, quick, puzzly experience for a single player, and I enjoyed it. What do you think, Nick?
Well, Sarah won her first game. I, taught her and then gave her a couple, I wouldn't even say pointers, just like, hey, there's this, here's that, you can do this. And I have lost every game because there is a thing you can do after the pantry is shuffled at the beginning, and anytime you play the 6, you can move a card within the whole pantry up to the front. But just doing that causes you some time. And so I did that one too many times, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're out of time, or, you can't even finish because you use that so much. But I really like the game. It is really puzzly for just a little solo 13-card game. There is quite some strategy in it, and I really enjoy that because, again, we played, got to, when we got this game, we got another solo game, and it was like a solo day. We're like, okay, you play your solo game, I play my solo game,
it was
and
nice.
then we'll switch.
We sat next to each other, and Nick played his game, and I played mine, and we just kind of sat there and puzzled through things, and then when we were finished, we taught each other the game that we had learned. And then we each got to play the second game as well. And it was a nice little way to spend time together, but kind of in our own little worlds too. So
yeah, and I really enjoyed this one. I liked how small it was. I liked the solo aspect because I don't play too many solo games.
Yeah, we usually don't.
No, and then when we started to play, a couple solo games, I really enjoyed it. I really just, could relax, decompress, especially with this one. This is a very small game, easy to learn. You could always be frustrated and then just forget about the troubles of your day. And you're looking at all the cute little tea, and you might be like, hey, I want some tea after this, or get some tea while you're doing this. Really, really good. Just not really happy about the bigger box and the additional game, like Sarah was saying, to justify, 13 cards. I mean, why not just have a little, little promotion pack for, cheaper? Because, we don't know anything about the bowling one.
Maybe it's great.
Maybe it's great, but that's not what we bought.
I didn't intend to acquire this game. I would not have paid for this game had I been given the choice. And I feel like I have paid for it at this point. And I think that's just kind of silly that I paid for this when what I really wanted was this. And I'm sure I paid some for this as well, right? But I feel like because this is such a small footprint, and they probably felt like they wanted a certain price point for it, I feel like they're like, what if we make the box bigger? And then to justify having a bigger box and therefore a bigger price tag, we just add in this random game too.
Yeah.
But what I really wanted was this game. I don't care anything at all about this one. And I would have liked to have paid less and only gotten what I thought I was paying for instead of getting this sort of random extra. Having said that, maybe we'll play it and it'll be like our new favorite game ever, right?
Our new favorite solo game ever. Like we have, again, like we said, we don't play too many solo games, but we've been enjoying the solo experience, even with having each other to play games with.
Yeah.
So, this was our board game vlog discussion of Elevenses for 1. We hope you all enjoyed it, and hey, if you want to dip your toe into playing solo games, I highly recommend this. This is really, small and easy to learn.
And even though I kind of harped on the price point a little bit, it was still a very inexpensive game.
Yeah.
Less than $15 probably?
Probably.
I think. So definitely less than 20. So even though I was a little bit frustrated by what I perceived to be a higher price than I would have liked to have paid, after I saw the contents of the box, it still was an affordable game by far. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this vlog and this discussion, and we will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you always stay up to date on all of our content. All right. Toodles!